hello for one very big news, like a news which was building up for even before the demonetization, before I think August September 2016. Little bit it was building, I think, even before that, but today it somehow came in front. Shapoorji Pallonji Group decided to make their ways out of Tata Sons, the holding company of Tata Group. What will be the all events and what happened and why this is happening? Let's talk about it. What happened today? Shapoorji Pallonji Group came up with a statement. I am reading that. Today, the SP Group stated before the Supreme Court that a separation from the Tata Group is necessary due to the potential impact this continuing litigation could have on livelihoods and the economy. They stated that it was crucial that an early resolution is reached to arrive at a fair and equitable solution reflecting the value of the underlying tangible and intangible assets. As the largest minority shareholder owning 18.37% stake, the role herethrough played by the SP Group was always one of guardianship with an aim to protect the best interest of the Tata Group. The SP Group had always used its voting rights as a shareholder for the best interest of the Tata Group. It is a matter of record that prior the year 2000, when the Tata Trust, being public charitable trust, couldn't exercise their voting rights, the same being held by public trustee, the SP Group voted to protect the best interest of the Tata Groups. In 2012, when Mr. Cyrus Mistry accepted the position of chairman of Tata Sons, it was not only with the sense of pride but also with the sense of duty. As an insider on the board of Tata Sons, the Tata Group was going through significant change. A generation of Tata leaders were retiring, with implications on the future governance of the group. Several of these leaders who were retiring from the board of Tata Sons, who served as a trustee of the majority shareholders, Tata Trusts. It is in this context that Mr. Mistry set about trying to establish a governance structure that would institutionalize accountability and create the right checks and balances without contravening the new SEBI insider trading law that regulated the flow of information across all stakeholders. Unfortunately, he was removed in October 2016 when he attempted to implement these governance reforms. It is extremely unfortunate the current leadership of Tata Sons has not only continued to take value destructive business decisions in a misguided efforts to prove a point in this proceeding. It is a matter of public record that several issues identified years earlier continue to plague the group. But B. It the operations of Tata Steel UK, where over the last 3 years alone the operational losses have increased by an additional 11,000 crore, or the group's aviation business. These actions or lack thereof have meant that the total debt in the major Tata Group companies has increased by approximately 1 lakh crore in the last 3 years. Excluding TCS, the last quarter losses of all the listed group companies of approximately 14,000 crore cause great concern. Unfortunately, the impact of these actions continue to hurt majority shareholders, be it the SP Group at Tata Sons or the millions of shareholders of the listed companies in the Tata Group. Tata Sons has amplified its institutional efforts to suppress and inflict irreplicable harm on the SP Group in the midst of global crisis triggered by the COVID pandemic. The 150 years old SP Group is the second largest construction group in the country, executing projects of national significance in India and abroad. The Mistry family were in the midst of raising funds against the security of their personal assets to meet the crisis arising from the global pandemic. This move was undertaken to protect the livelihood of its 60,000 employees and over 1 lakh migrant workers. Situation was that in 2012, when Cyrus Mistry came, he was in fact the choice of Ratan Tata. There was option, Noel Tata also was an option, but it was looking like Ratan Tata was giving a vote to Cyrus Mistry, but due to some reasons, Ratan Tata himself decided to throw out, be it coming up with a Noel Bain Capital head into board of director, keeping some peoples of Mahindra Group to the board of director, and some other peoples. Many people may ask me what is the reason and why this even happened. One reason why this even happened is, or should I say was, many people say that there were two infrastructure companies competing on one project. One is from Shapoorji Pallonji Group, SP Group. Another is Tata Sons. Ratan Tata thinks that this is conflict of interest. That may be the one reason, because somehow Cyrus Mistry make Tata Group bid to lose. Possible, I don't know. One another reason which was also possible, that he told to sell Tata Steel Group England part, or do handle the the then debt which was sufficient good in amount. That time it was looking like whole Tata Group was largely on the base of TCS and JLR, but now it looks like even JLR was a is a deadweight loss due to China issue and many other reasons. That is not the thing. What it was, Ratan Tata many times mentioned that this is a trust and we are doing it for the betterment of Indians. I realize that Cyrus Mistry was keeping the corporate mind. He was thinking, let's make profit. This is not a philanthropy. Running a business is not a philanthropy. Yes, you can do philanthropy after getting the profit. But for survival of some companies, you're supposed to do something. You are buying hotels expensive on the debt burden. That time, I don't know, I am not tracking the Indian hotels, but there was a time, and maybe right now also, the value of whole Indian hotels was lower than the market value of the only big hotel, Taj. So Tata Group was on somewhere on bad front. There was, in fact, that was the reality, that the stake held by Tata Sons in a Tata Motor was very low. So after throwing Cyrus Mistry out, Tata Sons started buying the shares of Tata Motors and they increased their stake. That was one. Tata Steel losses, yes. I I don't want to make any comment on that. That is one reason. What I wanted to say that I was tracking this all. I in fact wrote one blog post on Ratan Tata fight 1992, JRD Tata fight, Rusi Modi Nani Palkhiwala, Cyrus no Nani Palkhiwala, Rusi Modi and Ajit Kerkar and all this peoples and Tata Motors and some other people. So that what happened there is the birth of some satraps and they started calling some companies as fiefdoms. Ajit Kerkar in Indian hotels, Rusi Modi in some company, um, some another issues. So this all peoples started acting like they are the unique authority on this companies and they are not interested to support JRD Tata. JRD Tata realized it, but management style of JRD Tata is somehow different and Rusi Modi is different. Cyrus Mistry was different. In between all this, SP Group was Shapoorji Pallonji Group was doing some debt, and then I think their solar power related some company coming on to listing. I don't remember their name, but then they wanted to repay and they failed to repay. That was one big issue. Right now, SP Group, Shapoorji Pallonji Group is under heavy debt, and so SP Group was trying to sell part of this, not sell, they wanted to refinance this by pledging the Tata Sons shares and they wanted to do something about it. Tata Group went against them, went to court that this is illegal. Court accepted Tata Sons saying this is not acceptable, and I think 18 October will be the date. Right now, SP Group is under heavy debt that they really want out of this debt, and so they came up with this statement. Statement is sufficient good, sufficient acceptable. So now what is it? Right now Tata Sons is a private company. Accepted. Tata Sons is a private company. If one person want to go out, someone else in between the company only can buy to that group, and mind you, the valuation of Tata Sons is 10 lakh crore. So keeping in that mind, valuation of this around 18.37 or 18.3 or 4 something stake will come as 1.7 lakh crore, including all the rights and stakes in this company and that. So how that can be possible? Let's take into account that there are some very strong companies in the Tata group. Titan, Titan company, Titan industry, yes. TCS, Tata Steel, yes, even after the death of England Group, Britain Group, there is a value. Tata Motors, yes, some value is there. They are doing some defense work. They are doing some groups. I don't know. Now, who is that Herculean person who can buy that, who can be having that financial muscle to buy a so humongous stake? Reliance? Maybe. But will Ratan Tata accept that Reliance and Mota Bhai, as market call him Mukesh Ambani, Mota Bhai, enter into Tata Sons? I don't believe. Sovereign Wealth Fund? Who can be? PE company? But who will be there who can easily give you nearly 2 lakh crore? IPO? Maybe. Maybe. But the possibility is, say someone, you came up with IPO size around 2 lakh crores. So the liquidity which is coming up for the upcoming some IPOs, you are just drying it. Will Tata Group took on the debt, or will Tata Group tell some of their companies to buy? Maybe possible, because Tata Steel, Tata Motors, Tata Chemicals, up to certain part, maybe Tata, I think TCS is also holding some shares. So what will happen? This is one big unfolding event and I am going to track this. So let's track this. Till then, have a nice day.